Well, it's Retro Movie Reviews from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And hey, folks, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We are finally getting into a little bit of Christmas cheer with a new holiday classic that came out last year, so technically it's still retro.
Yes.
As we look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe special presentation of Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special.
It is a fun one.
I fell in love with this immediately. First watch, these characters are some of the best written characters in the entire MCU.
Some of them, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think Drax, he's great as comic relief. How deep he is up for debate. Well,
that's the thing, is that Drax's entire race doesn't have, so there's no such thing as self-improvement with them.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, that there really is, there's only so far they can go, and he very well may be the smartest of them. You know, we haven't met anybody else from his species or not. Least of all, his cousin, who was killed by a GoBot. Now goes to show GoBots are real and in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. I soon as I saw him, like, oh, Andy's gonna love that part.
Oh my god. The entire
Andy and Mike Cicerone.
Yes. The entire scene of them at right in front of Man's Chinese Theater is just, it's so much fun to watch, because you've got the people who are acting as members of the Avengers, and Mantis just immediately recognizes them as such.
Yeah. And you know what? It would make sense, even in a world where they're supposed to be real. You go to in front of Grumman's Chinese Theater today, and you see people like dressed up as Michael Jackson and everyone. So they would still be dressed up as real people.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that they made a bunch of money off of it and then spent it all on booze.
that whole middle part is hilarious.
The whole Hollywood part is awesome. The bar scene is great. I especially love, because there was a guy who was trying to pick Drax up, and again, because nothing flies over his head because his reflexes are too fast and he would catch it. It's some brilliant scene work done with, well, first of all, one of the most underappreciated characters in all of the MCU. I really feel like Pom Klementieff really just nailed this. This was her thing. This was her show.
Oh yeah, this entire special was based around Mantis.
I loved it, because being kind of the unappreciated character. I mean, I remember when we were watching Endgame, and it's like, they had all the women there, and here's Mantis, like, what the hell are you gonna do?
So, yeah, and honestly, it's the one character really in this one, besides maybe Cosmos, that we really haven't had a whole lot of time with.
No. And that was really interesting with Cosmo, too, because Cosmo's only made the one appearance in Guardians 1.
Yeah, and the post-credit sequence.
Right.
Well,
she also showed up a little bit in the, in the collector scene.
Yeah.
In 1. But, to give her Maria Bakalava's voice was inspired, because Maria Bakalava was like the only good thing that come out of the second Borat movie.
Oh yeah, that's not my kind of humor.
So she really, I love that, but I love that she's still a dog.
Yeah.
And like all this, and you haven't seen Guardians 3, have you?
I have not yet.
Okay. This is a perfect bridge to get into Guardians 3.
Well, I kind of think
but yeah, the whole thing with her, Cosmos, and Rocket, like they're doing the stuff, and then she wants the treats that are in his bag.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's they didn't have the budget for a movie because the scenes with Rocket and Groot were at a bare minimum.
Yeah, and if I didn't know any better, I would say that Groot was somebody in a suit.
My guess would be most of the time it was, because that'd be way cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the head, obviously, you had to do some animation with the head, but
Yeah.
it looked. It didn't look weird because we had to expect that Groot was going to change, and Groot changed.
Yeah.
You know, when you watch Guardians 3, now that you've seen Holiday Special, now you got to watch Guardians 3, Disney Plus. You can, this is a completely different being than the Groot that was in Groot 1.
Yeah.
That was in Guardians 1, rather.
Yeah, and we've actually seen him develop.
Exactly. Even though, as adorable as Baby Groot is, it'll always be our Groot, yes. But overall, though, I loved, I love that they didn't hide the reveal, the Mantis reveal.
Yeah.
They didn't wait until the end and make you like, whoa, why is she doing all this for Peter? Oh, that's why.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of got the fact that there was some kind of connection between Ego and Mantis in the second movie.
Yeah.
But they never really came right out and said it. So
right, and I think that's mainly because you always thought of her as being a servant.
Yeah.
Yeah, as being put under Ego's servitude. So, yeah, that was kind of interesting that she got some ability out of it, which she really got to, make hay with in this episode.
There's salt on Kevin Bacon's house.
Oh my god. The entire bit where she is literally bouncing off the walls, because we've never seen her in a tactical situation before. I mean, Drax is just going to run through walls.
Yeah.
But watching this character develop was a lot of fun. And you notice what Kevin Bacon was watching on TV, right?
Yeah, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Yeah, exactly. What drives me nuts about whenever they have like somebody watching an old movie on TV is that every time they sit down, they just that wasn't a funny part, nor was it the MST version. So it's just like one of those weird things because they had to cut in a scene.
Yeah,
they're like, okay, just respond to it.
I mean, in all fairness, though, you watch Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, you get a lot of laughs. Unintentional ones, but
I don't think I've ever seen it un-MST'd, unriffed.
You just laugh at how stupid it is.
Yeah. But even Kevin Bacon really seemed game for this movie, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And if you listen carefully enough, you do hear Kira Sidgwick's voice.
Yes, yeah. I wasn't even sure if that it was exactly Kira Sidgwick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
They got her just to do the the phone call voices.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it was really nice to kind of bring that back to the real world, and then have him talk about all the different characters that he played, and then having that be the soul crushing thing that all of these stories that Quill's been talking about are just movies.
Yeah.
And speaking of stories, what did you think of the animated bit that opened the special?
I had actually kind of forgotten that those bits were in there.
Yeah.
It was actually a little bit more jarring this time than it was the first time. I like the story, and I realized that they had limited budget, so they couldn't get Michael Rooker back, get him into full makeup, build the whole set and all that. And it's a nice way to do a flashback scene, but I don't know. It just felt a little bit off to me this time.
There were a lot of it's not old animation, is what it is.
Yeah.
You want to you start your Christmas special off with animation, and this was heavily rotoscoped.
Yeah,
they made no secret of that. That was
if they were going to do like a flashback to old animation, I would have loved for them to do it in like Rudolph stop motion.
Right, like a stop motion.
Yeah.
They kind of give that a nod though towards the end, with was it Groot's gifts?
Oh yes, yes. The all the different scenes from the movie.
Yeah, all the different dioramas. Those kind of like they look more like Nightmare Before Christmas characters, especially if you go back and you see the one of Kevin Bacon running through the neighborhood. It looks like that kid where the snake is eating his Christmas tree.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. One thing I also loved about this is one of the best Christmas soundtracks I've ever heard.
I noticed that too, and I like all the songs that they actually play live.
Yeah.
When it's following Drax and Mantis, like I liked all the songs. I just felt like I was like, all right, we've had silence for like 5 minutes. Let's throw in another song.
Well, yeah.
Minutes, throw in another song.
Well, part of it's to keep the plot moving a little bit. James Gunn is one of those directors that uses music to move story and move plot. I felt like the use of the songs worked really well. It wasn't all just all old Christmas songs, nor was it all old stuff from like the 80s. I mean, I think realistically speaking, out of the 80s stuff, you got Christmas Wrapping.
Yeah.
You got Fairy Tale in New York to open the entire thing up and close it. It's a blink and you miss it bit. But there's when Kevin Bacon is getting out of the car, he's on the phone with Kara the first time you're kind of introduced to the great Kevin Bacon. I gotta pull it up now because I can't remember the exact name of the song. But Dead by Christmas by Hanoi Rocks is playing, and that is Hanoi Rocks has made appearances in a lot of James Gunn stuff. In fact, there's a great conversation that Peacemaker has about Hanoi Rocks.
That makes a lot of sense because James Gunn, when he is loyal to something, he is loyal.
Yeah. And also his favorite band is Old 97s. And they get 2 songs on this. Yeah. I don't know what Christmas is.
Which is that is a brilliant song to open up.
I love that song. It's catchy. It's easy to kind of sing along to, and it's ridiculous.
It feels like it could have been written by Jonathan Coulton.
It could have been. It absolutely could have been. And in fact, because I never added this to our Christmas. I had to add this to our Fun Family Christmas playlist here, just like the Jonathan Coulton Chiron Beta Prime song.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, looking at this soundtrack, I mean, there's some stuff in there. I've never been a huge fan of Christmas Time by Smashing Pumpkins. But like, I Want an Alien for Christmas.
Yeah.
Is This Christmas is a good one. And there was another one here too that's like it's a cover of that terrible Jimmy Fallon Horatio Sands I don't know what Christmas is song from SNL.
Oh. I can't think of it off the top of my head, so I'm going to take your word
don't know what the mayor says. Christmas time is here. Okay. But even the score from John Murphy, I initially thought the entire thing was rips of Danny Elfman. And it isn't. It's John Murphy paying tribute to Edward Scissorhands and Nightmare Before Christmas.
Edward Scissorhands, I can totally see it because, like, especially when, kind of like the background song playing while Peter's coming out and they're lighting up everything.
Yep.
That I could totally. That has a very much a the snowflakes.
The snow dance.
Yes.
And then there's that scene when they're chasing after Kevin Bacon and they do the same thing. Yeah. There's a song that sounds very much like Jack's sleigh ride.
Yeah.
uh, what I liked about this too is that it did a great job of telling you don't really need Quill to lead the plot for anything.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of centered on him, but he wasn't part of very much of this.
Right. No, he was definitely just kind of we're doing this for him.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's although his reaction to when he sees the present start to shake,
oh, yeah.
and that's just like a there's someone in there.
Yeah, exactly. You gave me a person.
And can I also say how much I love Karen Gillan's Nebula in this one?
Oh my God,
you don't get her much, but every single one of her lines is brilliant.
Not only that, there is that scene when Kevin Bacon is singing with old 97s and she's dancing in that way where she has just got her own. She don't care what she looks like. She's gonna live her best life.
Yeah.
And to me, that is a huge character turning trait for her.
Mm.
When you eventually get to Guardians 3, it is a huge turn in her character. Also, how can you not love the callback that she gives Rocket Bucky's arm?
Yeah.
I don't know where she got it. I don't want to know how she got it, but she got it.
Dude, for me, the standout line of the entire special is "You can't run from me, Bacon."
Yep.
Oh, so brilliant.
This is, I mean, it's fantastic. It's just a fantastic special.
Yeah.
It doesn't take itself too seriously, and it was very advantageous that they filmed this kind of while they were filming Guardians 3. So the sets, costumes, everything was just kind of already there.
Yeah.
It also explains why, and you'll see this in 3 as well, why they are at nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I when I first saw it, I was kind of like, all right, they're setting up that they have nowhere, that they own it, that they're running it, and that I'm sure that'll play into the third one. So I'm not surprised about that.
Yeah. And I gotta say this too. This is the first time that Kraglin really, really played a big part in this group. Again, and I'm not spoiling anything by saying you don't see a lot of him in 3 compared to like the core team.
Yeah.
But it is nice to give him that moment, that turning point moment where he's the one who changes Kevin Bacon's mind. And
yeah, you can really see just with his interactions with everyone else why Yondu kind of held him in such high esteem. Like, he was never going to be like a general, but he's an advisor. He's a trusted ear.
Yeah. All in all, I mean, this special is fantastic. It felt great. Like, we watched it twice last year. This year I watched it once just to get refresh for the review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when we did our review of all of the specials from 2022.
Yeah.
I know I didn't hold this one as high a regard as you, and like I still love it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the beginning and the end is a fantastic Christmas special, and the part in the middle is a really fun adventure with Mantis and Drax.
Yeah.
It's just like they're tonally quite different, and it threw me off a little bit. I think I preferred like Werewolf by Night because it was the same all the way through, really.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is something like Werewolf by Night was more a single contained story with characters we'd never met before.
Yeah.
I mean, we are dealing with characters, and this is, I mean, realistically speaking, this is no different than Guardians 2 in terms of it aims for the heartstrings, but it has to factor in ways to get in the comedy and the action and all that as well.
Right.
They're not fighting a huge, galaxy ending thing in this special. They're just trying to, bring their friend, a human being, as a Christmas present. The great Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. And no, like I said, I still love it. It's just the tone shift. If it was like more kind of broken up, like there was like more comedy in the Christmas bits.
Yeah.
Because that middle part was almost a straight, like almost Three Stooges-esque comedy.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love the Three Stooges.
Oh yeah.
It's very, very heartfelt Christmas special with a Three Stooge bit in the middle.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is that with something like this, the formula does have to accommodate the shorter runtime. This one didn't. I mean, I don't think this ranked as high up as some of the other stuff from 2022 on my, my Marvel and Disney, my Marvel and Star Wars list last year. I still think, I still think as an overall special, Werewolf by Night was better, solely because it was something we had never, literally had never seen something like that before.
Very true.
In this universe. Whereas, this is the third go around for the Guardians if you don't count the two Avengers movies and Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
So it's
straight up Guardians.
They're very comfortable characters for us now. They are beloved characters. And it was nice to spend the holidays with them at this point. Yeah. So it was just kind of like that's where I'm at with this one. Overall,
I totally agree.
Definitely worth it. Definitely worth the rewatch. Make it part of your Christmas routine.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I just discovered Kunk on Christmas, so that one's also going into the routine. Oh, I'm gonna send it to you. It's British, and it's hilarious.
I thought it was like a spinoff of like Kung Fu Panda or something.
No. Actually, it's based on a character that from the BBC that got her own like Netflix special this year.
I think I've seen like images and I've heard like clips of her. She
is phenomenal. I'm finding it now, and I'm going to send it to you.
Ah, cool.
Kunk on Christmas. There we go. So other than that, like any parting thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special?
Apparently GoBots killed Drax's cousin, which is...
I love the cutback where he's beating the shit out of that thing.
Yes. There it is.
Yep. It's just so much fun. I probably should rewatch it again at some point, but with the kids this time.
And you know what? As silly as it was also really, really heartfelt when Mantis gave Drax the little green man.
Oh yes, you thought that was a man?
Does this look like a man? My friend's just being an idiot. Here, now we're even.
That was great. I also love the argument that they were having too about like, that secret. What, you ate all the Zarg nuts? You ate all the Zarg nuts.
I kind of want a Zarg nut now.
Have they marketed Zarg nuts at Avengers Campus yet?
I don't know, but that would be something I would really like to look into. I'll have to ask Jana.
Get friggin' on that, Disney.
Yeah.
For the love of God, it's a free idea from us. They literally just be corn nuts.
Yeah.
Seasoned corn nuts. That's all they have to be.
Covered with chocolate.
I don't know. You know what? No. I would compact them with like some kind of like a brown sugar. Or like I would candy them. I wouldn't chocolate them. I would candy them.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Okay. The confectioner circle here at Geek Salad. So anyway, that was Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. So we want to know, what are your thoughts on this? Is this a go-to for you? Did you enjoy it? Is this something that you... I know... Oh, God, the Marvel discourse, the MCU discourse is just tiresome.
Yeah.
But, what are your thoughts on this one? These are beloved characters. I really hope that you enjoyed it for what it is. But, leave a polite comment below. If you're new to the channel, thank you for joining us. hopefully this caught your eye and we can entice you to come back and see more of these. You can do so by hitting that subscribe button. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, because it really helps us out in the algorithm. Mike and I also host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check that out wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. You can also get the full stream here. We just launched our Christmas episode that came out on Sunday. So you can check that out as well, where we talk about what we think belongs on the dinner table at Christmas, which is so much fun. Great conversation. And in the show notes for that, we did include some of the recipes, which, by the way, Mike, I made one of those tonight.
Oh, yeah?
I made the potatoes tonight.
Ooh.
The kids were thrilled. Scarlett was like, what kind of potatoes are we having? Like, we're having the Christmas potatoes. And she was like, yes!
Nice.
So, yeah. So, anyway, folks, you can also check us out on the socials. We are at Geek Salad Podcast on Facebook and at Geek Salad Radio on Twitter, on Blue Sky, and on Threads. So, check us out there. And until next time, folks, this is our last episode before Christmas. We have one more Christmas episode coming up next week, but it's more of a holiday episode, but we'll get into that later. But until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth, be nerdful, and hey, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.